Okay, so if you've been dreaming of a trip, you really need to know this. The world looks very different than it did just a few weeks ago. Seriously, some regions have become genuinely dangerous almost overnight. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly where you can and where you absolutely should not be traveling right now, especially if you're trying to do it on a backpacker's budget.
And trust me, that's not an exaggeration. We are talking about major right now disruptions. Since this conflict escalated, over 5,000 flights have been canceled. Airspace is completely closed in some areas, and you can feel the ripple effects all over the world. This is not just a regional issue anymore, it's a global travel challenge.
So, how in the world are you supposed to navigate all this? Well, the single best tool you've got is the US State Department's official travel advisory system. It's updated pretty much daily, and it gives you a clear, no-nonsense look at the risks on the ground. So let's break down what these levels actually mean for you, the traveler. It's a pretty simple four-step system, really. Level 1, that's your green light. Go for it. Just use normal common sense. Level 2 means, hey, be a little more aware. Maybe there's crime in certain areas, but it's generally manageable. Level 3 is a serious warning. You need to reconsider your trip. The risks here are significant. And Level 4, that is a hard stop. It means life-threatening risks, everything from armed conflict to kidnapping.
And here's why this is so urgent. Right now, there are 22 countries on that Level 4 Do Not Travel list. Think about that. That's a huge chunk of the globe marked with the highest possible warning. And honestly, that number has been growing. The most important thing you can do for your safety is know exactly which countries are on that list.
Okay, so let's get right to the most critical info, the Level 4 list. These are the places that, for your own safety, should be completely off your travel radar for the foreseeable future. And as you've probably guessed, the epicenter of all the most dramatic recent shifts is the Middle East. Recent military operations have completely flipped the security situation on its head, pushing multiple countries in the region straight to Level 4. We're specifically talking about Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. Gaza has also been designated Level 4 within the broader advisory for Israel. For these places, the official advice isn't just a suggestion. It's a really urgent warning to just stay away.
And look, this isn't just one government's opinion. This table here shows that the US, the UK, and Switzerland are all basically saying the same thing. For Iran and Iraq, it's unanimous, advise against all travel. And for Israel, you can see the UK and Swiss advisories are even stricter than the current US one. When you see this kind of international consensus, you know the risk is incredibly serious. Now, beyond the Middle East, there are other long-standing Level 4 countries to be aware of. Russia and Ukraine, of course, are still on the list because of the ongoing conflict. And places like North Korea, Sudan, Haiti, and Venezuela, they're on there for things like extreme crime, civil unrest, or simply because your government has zero ability to help you if something goes wrong. Okay, but this is where it gets really confusing if you're a traveler. Because on one hand, you have these severe government warnings, and on the other, you have websites and online services that seem to be welcoming tourists with open arms. It creates a real dilemma.
I mean, this quote right here says it all. This is the official reality. For U.S. citizens in Iran, the guidance is brutally clear. There is no embassy there to help you, and you are advised to shelter in place. That is about the starkest warning a government can possibly issue to its citizens abroad. Just look at this comparison. On the left, the State Department is warning about the risk of being detained and says there's a total lack of diplomatic presence. Meanwhile, on the right, a top-ranking visa website is advertising a $35 tourist visa, talking about a smooth entry process and marketing prearranged tours. It's the perfect example of a government trying to protect its citizens versus a business trying to make money. You have to decide who you're going to trust.
Okay, let's move on to the next tier, Level 3, or reconsider travel. Now, this category is a bit more nuanced. Travel isn't forbidden, but it demands some serious planning and a really high degree of caution. So, because of all the regional instability, several neighboring countries have been upgraded to Level 3. This includes places like the UAE, Jordan, and Kuwait. You'll notice Bahrain's airspace is currently closed. And for Israel, the official recommendation is to just postpone your travel for now. The situation in all these places is really volatile, and it can change in a heartbeat. And, some advisories are even more complex. Mexico is a perfect example. It's not one single warning for the whole country. Popular tourist spots like Cancun are actually at a lower risk level, but at the same time, certain states are at a full-blown level 4 because of crime. This just means you absolutely have to do your homework and research the specific regions you plan to visit. All right, after all those warnings, let's finally talk about the good news. Because the world is not closed. Far from it. Large parts of it are still safe, totally accessible, and absolutely perfect for a budget backpacker. It's just a matter of knowing where to look. This is really where your own personal risk assessment comes into play. You see, a place like Guatemala offers an absolutely exceptional cultural experience, like the incredible ruins you see here. But at the same time, it's rated as having critical threat levels. So you have to ask yourself, is the reward of that amazing experience worth the documented risk? That's a question every single traveler has to answer for themselves.
But if you're looking for a clear, obvious green light, here it is. The brightest spot on the map for budget travelers right now is without a doubt Southeast Asia. Countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, they're open, they're incredibly affordable, and they're safe. And right nearby, Japan is officially at level 1. That's the lowest risk category, and it's even been ranked the #1 travel destination for 2026. This is your go-to region for adventure without the high alert. So here's the bottom line. The world is full of both risks and absolutely incredible opportunities. Being a smart traveler today isn't about being fearful. It's about being informed. Use the tools we've talked about, understand the real risks, and then make your own confident choice. Which really leaves us with just one final question to think about. In a world that's full of warnings, how do you define adventure?